The Nikon Z8 features one of the most advanced autofocus systems currently available in a mirrorless camera. It brings nearly all of the flagship autofocus technology from the Nikon Z9 into a smaller and more affordable body. Built around Nikon's stacked 45.7 megapixel sensor and XPEED 7 image processor, the Z8 was designed specifically to handle demanding subjects such as birds in flight, wildlife, sports, motorsports, and fast-moving action. For many photographers, autofocus performance is the single most important factor when evaluating a camera. The Nikon Z8 consistently ranks among the very best cameras available in this category. One of the most impressive aspects of the Nikon Z8 is its performance when tracking birds in flight. Bird photography places enormous demands on any autofocus system because birds can change direction instantly, vary their speed without warning, and frequently move through cluttered environments. The Nikon Z8 handles these situations exceptionally well, thanks to its advanced subject recognition algorithms and highly refined 3D tracking system. Once a bird is detected, the camera can lock onto the subject and continue tracking it across the frame with remarkable consistency. Whether photographing soaring eagles, diving ospreys, hunting hawks, or fast-moving shorebirds, the autofocus system demonstrates impressive reliability. The bird detection mode is one of the strongest features available on the Nikon Z8. Nikon's deep learning autofocus technology has been trained to recognize the shapes, patterns, and features associated with birds. The camera can often identify a bird's eye, even when the subject occupies a relatively small portion of the frame. This significantly improves image sharpness because the eye becomes the primary focus point rather than the body, wings, or surrounding background. Many wildlife photographers report that the Z8 can maintain focus on birds flying directly toward the camera. This remains one of the most difficult autofocus challenges in photography. Birds flying against clean blue skies present little challenge for the Nikon Z8. Focus acquisition is nearly instantaneous. Tracking remains stable throughout extended bursts. More difficult situations occur when birds fly through dense forests, across reeds, near tree branches, or over water with bright reflections. In these situations, the autofocus system continues to perform at a very high level. While occasional focus jumps can occur when obstacles temporarily obscure the bird, the Z8 generally reacquires the subject quickly and resumes tracking. The camera's autofocus customization settings allow photographers to fine-tune tracking behavior. These settings help reduce focus interruptions in difficult environments. Small birds present one of the toughest tests for any autofocus system. Fast-moving species, such as swallows, martins, warblers, and hummingbirds, can challenge even the most advanced cameras. The Nikon Z8 performs remarkably well under these conditions. Extremely small birds against complex backgrounds may occasionally cause the autofocus system to hesitate. Overall tracking performance remains among the best available. The combination of subject recognition, bird detection, and Nikon's advanced tracking algorithms results in a high keeper rate for demanding bird photography assignments. Animal eye autofocus is another area where the Nikon Z8 excels. The camera can identify and focus on the eyes of a wide variety of animals, including dogs, cats, horses, deer, foxes, wolves, bears, and many bird species. Wildlife photographers frequently work in situations where animals are partially hidden by vegetation, standing in low light, or positioned at unusual angles. The Nikon Z8 demonstrates an impressive ability to locate and maintain focus on the animal's eye, even when conditions become challenging. Large mammals are detected extremely quickly. Deer moving through forests, elk standing in tall grass, and foxes running across open fields are recognized almost instantly. The autofocus system frequently identifies an animal's eye before the photographer can manually position a focus point. This allows photographers to concentrate on timing, composition, and behavior, rather than spending valuable time managing autofocus settings. The camera also performs well when photographing multiple animals simultaneously. In situations involving flocks of birds, groups of deer, or packs of animals, the Nikon Z8 can identify several eyes within the frame. The camera provides photographers with options for selecting the desired subject. This flexibility becomes especially useful during wildlife encounters where subjects move unpredictably and opportunities are brief. Subject detection capabilities extend well beyond wildlife photography. The Nikon Z8 can recognize and track people, animals, birds, vehicles, motorcycles, bicycles, airplanes, and trains. This versatility makes the camera equally effective for sports photography, motorsports coverage, aviation photography, and general action shooting. For sports photographers, the autofocus system provides outstanding performance. Face and eye detection for human subjects is fast, accurate, and highly reliable. Athletes running toward the camera, changing direction suddenly, or interacting with other players are tracked effectively throughout continuous bursts. Football players wearing helmets, basketball players moving through crowded scenes, soccer players sprinting across the field, and track athletes approaching the finish line are all handled with confidence. The autofocus system continuously predicts subject movement and adjusts focus accordingly. This helps maintain sharp results even during rapid action sequences. Motorsports photographers benefit from the camera's dedicated vehicle detection modes. Race cars, motorcycles, and other vehicles are recognized quickly and tracked accurately as they move through the frame. The autofocus system remains locked onto the subject even when backgrounds become visually complex. Combined with the camera's high frame rates and blackout-free shooting experience, this makes the Nikon Z8 an excellent tool for capturing motorsports action. The Nikon Z8's stacked sensor contributes significantly to autofocus performance. Faster sensor readout speeds reduce rolling shutter effects and allow autofocus calculations to be updated more frequently. This enables the camera to react quickly to sudden subject movement while maintaining accurate focus throughout long shooting sequences. The electronic viewfinder remains responsive during continuous shooting. This allows photographers to follow moving subjects without interruption. Low-light autofocus performance is particularly impressive. Wildlife photographers often work during sunrise, sunset, and overcast conditions when available light is limited. The Nikon Z8 maintains reliable autofocus performance in these environments. Subject detection remains active even under challenging lighting conditions. Animal eye detection continues to function at light levels that would have challenged previous generations of autofocus systems. When comparing the Nikon Z8 to the Sony A1 II, the competition becomes extremely close. Sony has long been considered a leader in autofocus technology, particularly for bird photography and wildlife applications. The Sony A1 II offers exceptionally refined subject recognition and outstanding bird eye detection capabilities. In situations involving very small birds against cluttered backgrounds, Sony may hold a slight advantage in initial subject acquisition. Once the Nikon Z8 acquires the subject, tracking performance is remarkably competitive. Many professional wildlife photographers consider the difference between the two cameras to be minimal in real-world use. The Sony A1 II may demonstrate a small edge when detecting tiny birds occupying a very small portion of the frame. Sony's artificial intelligence-driven recognition system is exceptionally sophisticated. It often identifies subjects earlier than competing cameras. Nikon's 3D tracking system remains one of the most intuitive and effective autofocus tools available. Many photographers prefer its behavior during active tracking situations. Against the Canon R5 Mark II, the Nikon Z8 again proves highly competitive. Canon's dual-pixel autofocus technology has earned a reputation for smooth and reliable subject tracking. The Canon R5 Mark II features advanced eye detection, excellent subject recognition, and highly refined autofocus algorithms. Canon occasionally demonstrates slightly stronger performance when animals are partially obscured by vegetation or when subjects briefly leave the frame. Nikon's tracking consistency and predictive autofocus behavior often provide an advantage during long action sequences. Many photographers who switch between the Nikon Z8 and Canon R5 Mark II report that both cameras perform at an extremely high level. Differences are often subtle and become noticeable only in highly demanding situations. Personal preference regarding autofocus behavior frequently becomes more important than measurable performance differences. The Nikon Z9 remains the closest relative to the Z8 because both cameras share nearly identical autofocus technology. In terms of autofocus performance, bird detection, subject recognition, eye detection, and tracking accuracy are virtually identical. Photographers should not expect meaningful differences in autofocus capability between the two models. The primary advantages of the Z9 involve battery life, integrated vertical grip ergonomics, durability, and professional workflow features, rather than autofocus performance. For photographers who do not require the larger body and integrated grip of the Z9, the Z8 provides essentially the same autofocus experience in a more compact package. This has made the Z8 one of the most popular choices among wildlife and sports photographers seeking flagship-level performance without flagship-level size and weight. Continuous shooting performance further enhances autofocus effectiveness. The Nikon Z8 can capture rapid bursts while continuously updating focus calculations between frames. This allows photographers to follow fast-moving subjects while maintaining focus accuracy throughout an entire sequence. Birds in flight, athletes sprinting toward the camera, and race cars approaching at high speed can all be tracked effectively across extended bursts. The combination of advanced subject recognition, intelligent eye detection, powerful tracking algorithms, fast sensor readout speeds, and extensive autofocus customization makes the Nikon Z8 one of the most complete autofocus systems available today. It delivers exceptional performance for bird photography, wildlife photography, sports coverage, motorsports, aviation, and virtually any situation involving moving subjects. Overall, the Nikon Z8 stands among the elite autofocus cameras in the photography industry. Its bird tracking capabilities are outstanding. The Nikon Z8 firmly belongs in the top tier of modern autofocus cameras. For photographers seeking professional-level autofocus performance across a wide range of subjects, the Nikon Z8 represents one of the most powerful and versatile options currently available.